Therefore send not to know for whom the bell tolls, it tolls for thee. John Donne, 1572 to 1631. The death knell for freedom has been tolling for some time, and only now are people starting to hear it. It started tolling faintly decades back, and has slowly progressed in volume until today its tolling is impossible to ignore. Liberty, after all, is an aberration in mankind's history, a light that has flared here and there over the centuries, only to dissolve back into the darkness. America is barreling toward becoming a bit player on the world stage, and its vaunted middle class, once the envy of the world, is on the verge of being eliminated. For the good of the planet, for the good of Gaia, for the good of the collective, freedom is being replaced by servitude, capitalism by socialism, and property rights by sustainable development. Call them communists, Marxists, fascists, or globalists. Call them what you will. They are collectivists who despise America's middle class, capitalism, and free enterprise. They have been duplicitous, Machiavellian, clever, and patient, and it has paid off. The trap has been sprung. How did this happen? America got hit high, and America got hit low. We suffered sudden catastrophic sneak attacks from without and insidious long-term betrayal from within. We were hit low by Allenesque community organizers in our streets and propagandists in our school. We were hit high by think tanks like the Trilateral Commission or the Club of Rome and the Council on Foreign Relations. They have divided us with special interest groups, vociferous talking point attacks, and identity politics. They have infiltrated our schools and indoctrinated our children. They have opened floodgates using Cloward Piven strategy, overwhelming our judicial system, banking establishments, border security, and more. They have encouraged corruption and greed at the lowest to the highest levels of government. They have twisted and perverted the U.S. Constitution. They have promoted and encouraged anything and everything that would help bring America down. They intend on taking over the planet, but first they need to destabilize and then destroy the United States of America. Because we are a powerful bulwark of freedom, we have to go first. And to a large extent, go we have. The Club of Rome was founded in 1968 in Italy by Aurelio Pisi, an Italian scholar and industrialist, and Alexander King, a Scottish scientist. Over the years, the list of members have included ex-presidents, prime ministers, kings, queens, diplomats, and billionaires. Its membership roster reads like a who's who of the world's movers and shakers. It includes UN bureaucrats, scientists, economists, and business leaders from around the globe. After its inception, it split into two additional branches, the Club of Budapest and the Club of Madrid. The Club of Budapest focuses mainly on the social and philosophical religious issues, while the Club of Madrid concentrates more on political issues. In addition, there are over 30 affiliated organizations in other countries, such as the USACOR in the United States. The Agenda 21 globalists wine and dine each other and hold conventions and conferences around the world. They give each other praise, pats on the back, and prestigious awards. The Norwegian globalists gave Obama the Nobel Peace Prize for the same reason they gave one to Al Gore, promoting globalization and Agenda 21. Now, I could speak for an hour minimum, about that tyranny. Our country is being deindustrialized. We have already they've taken the money. China holds our debt. We buy their products. I mean, you couldn't have written a more insidious but perfect script. Things are not as they appear to be. Gore's movie, the illustrious Al Gore, An Inconvenient Truth, also received an Oscar from the liberal Hollywood elite. I shouldn't call it liberal Hollywood elite, should I? What is it really? I mean, was McCarthy really all that far off about communism, fascism, the rising police state?
At the point where that's when he reached for his nightstick, just started
The fact that this country has the most incarcerated citizens of any country in the world, yet our crime rate is one of the lowest in the world. In June 2009, NASA said that global warming is caused by solar cycles, the sun. Left unmentioned that the fact that the greenhouse gas theory was full of holes. Of course it is. Actually, it is a fairy tale, a convenient lie to force the world to bend the will of the globalists. Now, the globalists actually tried global cooling first, but for various reasons that didn't fly. Look at page 22 in the 1974 annual Rockefeller Report, and you'll find the mention of a conference that's called to investigate the future implications of the global cooling trend now underway. Things sure warmed up in a hurry. So what's the purpose behind this? What's the real purpose behind global warming hoopla? Power. It's mostly power. Money is a means. It's enslaving the population, just taking away. Make them feel that they're being given social programs and tax refunds in April and go buy a big screen TV. That's what they make you think. Same story, same emperor, just new clothes. Once you grasp Agenda 21 and the sly machinations of the United Nations and globalization, like the Council on Foreign Relations and the Club of Rome, if you look into their agenda, you'll finally see that all of these things are all in place and planned, controlling the population. I'm not even touching on religion. It's just unbelievable how far this stretches. Club of Rome member, multi-billionaire billionaire George Soros. Everyone knows George Soros thanks to Glenn Beck. I mean, he's big, but he's part of it. But he's an underling. It's the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds. Those are the cats. Soros is like the one that's out in the open, more or less, or the one that they're allowing the information to be spread. Soros echoed Maurice Strong, the Canadian criminal, echoed his statement last fall when he told Australian newspaper America, as the center of the globalized financial markets, was sucking up the savings of the world. This is over now. The game is out. He also added that the time has come for a serious adjustment in Americans' consumption habits. You better believe that's going to be true. Club of Rome member George Soros also, of course, advocates a forced cutback on fossil fuel consumption, forced cutback on water usage, forced cutback to give up our property, forced to eat less, forced to warm or cool our homes less, forced to give up driving, forced to give up these many other things for the environment. Well, these criminals take our jobs from our country. Globalization is enslavement. And these idiots across the ocean with the EU, it's just unbelievable. They want to incorporate this whole thing. People, wake up. Jesus in heaven, have mercy on the American people because we need help. Agenda 21. Google it. Look at it. Tell me what you think. Come to your own conclusions. The whole key to this whole thing, like the great William Cooper said, don't believe anything unless you do your own research and prove it to be true for yourself. Then spread that message, because it's the truth. You spread the truth, there's nothing that can stop us from taking back our corrupt government from these criminal industrialists and bankers that have hijacked it. We're facing the greatest tyranny that has ever been placed upon mankind. Make Hitler look like a choir boy. Anthropologist and anarchist David Graeber puts it like this in an LA Times book review, Human Happiness. This asshole said that we, humanity, I guess I should laugh, humanity become a plague upon ourselves and upon the earth. Until such time as Homo sapiens should decide to rejoin nature. Some of us can only hope for the right virus to come along. Oh, and that's coming. Keep getting your flu shots. Keep getting those vaccinations. Keep telling you when the government says everybody should get a flu shot. Do it. Do everything they tell you to do. You should do yourself a favor and peruse the quotes on Free Republic's So You're an Environmentalist webpage. If you don't come away convinced that most of these folks are nuttier than a payday candy bar, then I don't know what to tell you. Well, I mean, I had a good laugh, I'll tell you. It's true. The American people are being manipulated by this controlled environment. It's a socialist, social control environment. This is truth. Whether or not America will last as a free republic until the 2012 presidential elections is debatable. Iran's leadership is aching to nuke Israel, and Israel's only going to wait so long before they take preemptive measures. And there goes a large chunk of America's oil supply. And what happens if Egypt becomes under the control of the Muslim Brotherhood? And they decide to close the vital Suez Canal. Remember that Obama's drilling ban, which is of course declared unconstitutional? That's still in effect. There'll be long lines for gas. If you can get any at all, America's power grid will flicker and intermittently fail. More time for the globalists to make their final moves. So America, freedom, and Western civilization goes down the drain on our watch. It's nothing to be proud of, that's for sure. Is there no hope then? If there are still enough patriotic Americans who value personal integrity, responsibility, and freedom, there is a slim chance we can still turn this thing around. But it won't be easy, far from it. Make no mistake, though, if we lose this one, America and the world will sink into the abyss of godless tyranny for a very, very long time.